Hello, hello, hello. It's that time again with the public test server up for the patch 15.0. So we have 3 new test ships that are being added in this. We go into testing on the main server in that patch in January. So all the ships I'll be showing today are currently, of course, they are under NDA. So, and they're also being tested, which means that their stats are subject to change. And of course, I can't play them on stream, but I am able to show them on stream and talk about the stats and such like that. So today we'll be looking at the 3 new test ships, which is the Tonijn, which is the first Dutch submarine in the game. So taking a look at this ship, as well as looking at the Aberdeen, which is, looks like a tier 9 Plymouth, tier 9-ish, yeah. And then you have a Fiume, this thing. And then we'll look at some of the other ones, like the Independecia, as well as what I call it, the yellow baguetto. So let's get started. Also, we'll also like the Yimeng as well. So the first ship we're looking at is going to be the Tonijn. This is going to be the Dutch submarine tier 10. Let's just take a look at this thing. It is pretty small, so not very big. It is a small little one, small little submarine. So, you know, looks pretty nice. So that is the submarine. So for armor, no armor. Survivability is 17,800. It has sonar, which goes out to 10 kilometers. Torpedoes, it has 4 in the front and 4 at the rear, with a reload of 65 seconds. 10-kilometer range, 78 knot speed. It has regular torpedoes they have the homing ones, and then they have the non-homing torpedoes. The non-homing go out to 12 kilometers, and they do 13,000 damage, while the homing do 7,700 with 10 kilometers. Okay. And it has 4 lords at the front and 4 at the rear, which means it can launch all the torpedoes essentially launch them all and then reload them all, front and the rear. Okay, the biggest thing, though, is that this ship gets airstrikes. So it gets the Dutch airstrikes. They said on stream that these airstrikes are going to be comparable to the Utrecht. So if you want a reference on that, that's going to be what they're similar to. So it has a 110-second reload with an 8-kilometer range. I really do feel like that this range is going to get buffed, because these Dutch bombers can only be used at the surface. They cannot be used when they're underwater or periscope. They can only be used on the surface, which means that it has a concealment of 5.8, right? So about a 2.2 kilometer difference between it's able to bomb something and then being spotted. So I feel like this is definitely going to get buffed. And before everyone starts freaking out that they're adding airstrikes to the submarines, think about it this way, right? This can only be used on the surface. You can only use these airstrikes on the surface. You can see where the planes are coming from, which means that if you're inside being bombed by this thing and you have a radar, you know where it is. It's inside your radar range, which means you can radar it. You can see where it's coming from. So if you're in a destroyer, like, oh, I can just go and run it down, because this ship is not very fast. 25 knot speed. Not very fast as of now. Very tight turning radius, though. 430. I think that's one of the tightest in the game for submarines. Very tight turning radius, but the ship is not fast, and that's the reason why. Underwater knot speed is 27. So give or take, its top speed is going to be about like 30 knots-ish is going to be its top speed when you build into everything you can, about 30 knots. And everything can outrun that or run it down, except for a Vermont. So rip the Vermont, but that thing already suffers anyway, right? Dive capacity is 5 minutes, which is a lot, but again, it's not very fast. So it's not, like, to me, it's not that much of an issue. Concealment's 5.8, which is good concealment for a submarine. For equipment, you do get the hydroacoustics, which goes out to 8 kilometers. You get submarine surveillance that goes out to 9, so about the same. It's about literally the same as the Germans. And you get the enhanced rudder gears, which makes it where you're able to dive and ascend faster. How is that diving and going up? 3.5? That's pretty good. So it can dive and go on the surface pretty fast. So I still think, though, if you see the bombs and you can radar him in time before he dives, you should be able to. I think that's definitely possible. You see the planes pop up on the horizon, and you see that, it's like, oh, you can radar him because he's going to be on the surface. So I can kind of see what they did there with being able to dive fast, is because it makes it, oh, well, they know you're on the surface, so you're able to dive fast to kind of try to get away. So I can see what they did there. But, like, looking over, like, these stats for this ship, to me, it just feels like an average sub with a Dutch airstrike gimmick. And that's all it feels like to me. It, as of now, of course. It has an interesting gimmick. I definitely feel like the airstrike is going to get buffed to 10. 8 is really too low. I feel like they're going to buff it to 10. That's my prediction. And the reload's 110 seconds, by the way, which I also think is going to get buffed, because that is a very, very, very long reload. So that's just my prediction on this thing. So that is the Tonijn. The next ship that is new that's currently being tested on the public test server is going to be the Aberdeen. So this thing looks like a tier 9 Plymouth. I haven't really looked into it too much. It has, let's see, 16 millimeter bow armor, aft to 16. Ugh. Yeah, that's definitely the British. Slightly above water citadel. Yeah, yeah, be careful in this thing or you're gonna get dev struck for sure. Let's see, survivability 39,200. Definitely a light cruiser. What's the equipment on this thing? What is this? It has, let's see, it has a heal. Ooh, not the best heal. Radar, 10-kilometer radar, which is pretty nice. 40-second duration, 2-minute cooldown. It has a short burst smoke. Okay. I'm a fan of that. 15-second duration. It lasts for 40 seconds. Okay, I like that. Pretty good. And it has a 5-kilometer hydro, too. Ooh. So we have the World of Utility. That's some really nice utility on this ship. You have a 10-kilometer radar. Hydro's 5 kilometers, short burst smoke, heal. That's pretty good. You do have AP only, though. You do get torpedoes, and I'll talk about that in a moment. What's the conceal on this thing? 11.6. Let's see. I can just do a quick little, like, seeing what it is max. 10.5. Let me put all the concealment on real quick. Take a look. 10.5. It should go down to 9.4, so it can stealth radar. Okay, that's pretty nice. What's the reload like for the guns? 3.6 seconds. Not bad. It sounds like really that's a really good DPM for tier 9 cruiser. Pretty good. 3.6. It is AP only though, so that's going to be an issue. Torpedoes, it gets 10-kilometer torpedoes. It gets 3 on each side. 80-second reload. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Airstrikes, it gets 2, 7 kilometers. That's about average. Anti-air. It's all right. It's good. It's good anti-air. Not the best, not the worst. Maneuverability, 32.5 knots. Yeah, I wouldn't really expect it to be super fast. Let's see. Can you build into propulsion? Okay, so it does get the British acceleration. That's good. Turning rate 730. Maximum speed 32.5. I'm curious if these shells are the special shells like the Minotaur get. I'm curious if it gets those, like the improved ricochet angles. I'm curious on that one if it does. But overall, the ship looks really solid. To me anyway, it looks like a really solid tier 9 British cruiser. You get good concealment, you get a good radar, you get a good hydro. You're able to use the short burst smoke to enter engagements or leave engagements or just to farm in. There's a lot you can do with that. So it's definitely going to be more of like a high skill level ship is what it looks like. It's going to be a higher skill level because of how squishy it is. So yeah, if you're not careful, you're just going to get absolutely dev struck. But yeah, let's just take a look at the ship real quick. I forgot to do this, but let's just do a 360 pan look. Here we go. Does look pretty good. Yeah, I like this ship. It looks pretty good. It definitely gives that British vibe. Oh, yeah. 100%. It looks really, really, really solid. But yeah. All done by the model department. Looks awesome as always. So yeah, overall, it looks pretty solid. I'm not sure how it's going to go in the testing process, but it's going to be interesting to see. So let's look at the other new ship. It's going to be the Fiume. That's bad. My bad for mispronouncing. I'm never going to say this right. The armor, so it's a tier 7 cruiser for the Italians. It gets a exhaust smoke, a fighter, or a spotting plane. It lasts for 25 seconds, 10-second dispersion. Fighter for spotting. Sorry, spotting plane for spotting when it's in smoke. It does get a burst fire, and it gets HE and AP. Okay. So when you have this active, it makes your dispersion 20% more accurate, as a 33-second reload, and it gives you 2 salvos. So the regular salvo is 12.1, 203mm guns, but then when you have this active, it's 33. So essentially, it looks like you're going to be trying to like snipe things with the AP to try to get those good AP salvos. 900 meters per second, that's a really fast shell speed as well. Okay, so that doesn't change. Dispersion goes from 147, but yeah, it's supposed to be getting more accurate when you have the key active. Okay. All right. So let's see. Armor layout, 16 millimeters. It's a tier 7, 150mm side. Deck. Let me just take a look at the ship real quick. Let's take a look here real quick. Looks pretty good. Good model. Pretty nice, pretty nice. But yeah. Good model as always. A nice tier 7 Italian cruiser. Looks pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay. So let's take a look at survivability, 36,500. 1% torpedo protection. 1% will really save you. 203mm guns, 12.1 second reload. Range is 16.5. You get HE and AP. 34mm pen for the HE. That's good for the tier. Fast shell speed, as I said before, so it's going to be very accurate is what it looks like. Secondaries are 5.6 kilometers. Dispersion of 349. And no, I don't think these things are going to have any special secondaries. So they are also HE. But yeah, 349 is definitely not good for the dispersion. Nope. Depth charges is 2. You get aerial, 6 kilometers. That's good for a tier 7. Anti-air, it's Italian. Like, yeah, enough said. Maneuverability, 32.6 knots. That's a good speed for a tier 7. Nice turning radius, good rudder shift. Concealment is 14.3. I forgot to check this. What is its smoke fire penalty when it shoots? Let's see. 8.9. The concealment when you build it all the way. Let me just take a look real quick. Oh, right. You can't build concealment on a tier 7. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Ugh. 12.8 concealment on a tier 7 cruiser. That means you'll definitely be using this exhaust smoke a lot. But again, it has a 3-minute cooldown. I feel like they're going to have to either buff the concealment or they're going to have to buff this cooldown as exhaust smoke, because that is an extremely long concealment for a tier 7 cruiser like this. Yeah, I think they have that because of its like burst fire gimmick, but yeah, I don't know. It looks like a good cruiser until I saw that concealment and a good concealment, that really long cooldown for the smoke. It's gonna be, I don't know. It just lets you get to play at more longer range is what they're trying to do. And you can use that exhaust smoke to be a little bit more. If you're gonna be pushing up a little bit more, then you can use the smoke to disengage and leave. Is a good thing they could do with it. But it is a tier 7 cruiser, so I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. But overall, the Tonijn, Aberdeen, and the Fiume all look really good. Super excited to see how they go in the testing process. But now we can look at some of the ships that are still currently being tested. So let's look at the Yimeng. So this ship, Yimeng, is going to be the first brawler battleship for the Pan-Asia fleet. It does have a special gimmick. Its gimmick is that it has the aerial and torpedo defense systems. This makes it where you take 70% less damage for 5 seconds from torpedoes. Essentially, if you turn broadside and a ship is launching all those torpedoes, you can take 70% less damage from those torpedoes. And it's a very interesting gimmick and the first of its kind. Its heal is a slow tick heal. It's like a super heal, but ticks slowly over time. It's like a heavy repair team. So the heal is for 367, which you can build into, of course. 45-second action time. It has a cooldown of 100 seconds. So you'll be able to use this heal during longer fights, but like shorter fights. But then in the longer ones, it's gonna be really painful. But let's take a look at the ship itself here. But yeah, so this ship has 12 guns, 3 turret layout. It has some chunky secondaries on it, as you can see. Like really chunky. Really, 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 really chunky. Yeah, very chunky. Very chunky secondaries. All right. So for armor, it gets a 32mm bow with a 200mm armor side here. With 32mm aft and 200 here. Side plating is 370, 290, and 200. Deck armor is going to be 40, 50 at the back here. Now this is this is a really weird citadel. It goes all the way out. Like as you can see, the citadel goes out. It's slightly above water too, so yeah, if you show your broadside in this thing, yeah, be prepared to suffer. Yeah, be prepared to get depth struck. Yeah, it's not gonna be very fun with that one. So you're mostly gonna be doing like a bow in or a slightly angled side to get some of your secondaries off, is what it looks like. Kiting, it looks like it's really discouraged. If you see how the armor layout is like this area right here, giant shell catcher for like AP salvos right in here. It is going to take a lot of damage when it's trying to kite away. So you're just going to be sitting bow in or slightly angled using your secondaries, which it has a lot of. So for the main batteries, it has 12. It has 356mm guns with a 300-second reload. It has HE and AP. Damage for them are both okay for the gun caliber. Dispersion looks okay as well. For the secondary battery, it has 300 secondaries, 152mm with a 25mm pen for the HE, 2200 damage, 12% fire chance. You could probably build into IFHE onto the ship to get those pens up higher, depending on how they are, because they are not the fastest shooting. So you could try to do that because the range of the secondaries are 7.5, which it'll be good. You can get the secondary range up to, let me just do this real quick. Let's look. So IFHE, it brings the pen up to 31, which is a threshold. Wait, no, is it 31 or 32? I think it's 32, right? No, it's not a threshold. So you do not want to build IFHE. So no IFHE on this ship. It's going to be non. So you will, so the secondary range, 9. Where is it? Here, so it should be, it's gonna be, that's 10.8, and then we put on the secondary flag. And then that's gonna be 11.3, okay. Not the best secondary range. I'd like it to be 12. So they may buff in the future, maybe. We'll have to see. 11.3 sounds a little bit rough, but we'll see. But yeah, that's the guns and the secondaries. Airstrikes is 10 kilometers. That's normal for a tier 9. Anti-air. It has a lot of flak, so that's good. Continuous damage is good too. So the anti-air is actually good on this ship. 5.8, yeah, it's actually good. Good anti-air. Good anti-air on this ship. Wow. Okay. 29 knot speed, not the fastest. Turning radius is 880, about average for the tier, and rudder is 13.3. Concealment, you're gonna be spotted at the moon. So 16.7, yeah, you're gonna be spotted at the moon. Very, very painful. So overall, it looks like it looks potentially like it could be a good brawler, sitting bow in or slightly angled. You definitely got to be careful showing your side too much with that big, just a giant citadel weakness right here. So if you're showing too much side, you're definitely going to eat a lot of citadels. So definitely be careful of that. Survivability is 73,500, so definitely it doesn't have the most HP either. So you definitely be careful with that as well. And the deck armor is 30. This is such a large nose too, so you're able to farm this over with that HE over and over again, and the Dutch bombs can hit that as well. So that's going to be interesting if that this actually does come out, or how it goes through the testing process. All right. The last time we were here as well, we were not able to look at the Independecia for the first look. So we're able to look at this now. So this is the Independencia, the Tier 10 Pan-American aircraft carrier. Take a look at this real quick. I like how the flight deck looks. It does look pretty good. It's got them American planes on it. Very nice. All right. Very, very, very nice. Very good model. Very good. All right. So armor layout, 30 millimeter deck on the top for all the sections is 30 millimeter. Ooh, that is yeah, that's gonna be trouble for it. That means I can meme on it with the Dutch bombers. Heck yeah. Citadel, dead center. Dead center is Citadel. Yep, just dead center. Very little armor. It looks like a destroyer's AP could even Citadel this thing if it's dead center. It could. Okay. Survivability 54,100. Not the best, but it is good for the tier. So they took away the combat instruction. This thing originally had a combat instruction, but they removed it. I feel like they're going to definitely buff this ship in some way because of that. We'll have to see. It has 2 special squadrons and 1 regular squadron. So these torpedoes, yeah, they hurt. They pack a wallop, these torpedoes. You get 2 torpedoes per plane, and this thing gets 4 planes in attack run. Which means it's going to be launching 8 torpedoes at you every time it hits it. Well, it does an attack, which is a lot. And they do 5,000 damage. That's a lot of damage that it can do to you. That is a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of them. HP is 27,000, which you can build into, which we'll definitely need to do. You get a heal, which is really nice. A fighter, engine cooling. Yeah, these torpedoes are definitely going to be its main damage dealing. The attack fighters, you get a patrol fighter, an engine boost. The rockets themselves, per plane, you get 8, and they do 1800 damage, 33 millimeters of pen. That's good pen for the rockets. And per attack, you get 5. Okay. That's good. So you get a total of 40 rockets. Damn. That's a lot of them. Jesus. Okay. So they don't do a lot of damage, but they do nice pen, and they do good for the pen, which is nice. And fire chances are good too. So these squads are going to be definitely nice to start fires or try to hit a destroyer. Probably be good as well. So you're able to get some of the DCP, then you can use the torpedoes to get a perma flood. For the AP bombers, you get 4 in a squadron. Yeah, this 145-second cooldown for those, 90 for that. Bomb load is 2 per plane, so you get 8 in total, 4,900 damage. Those are all right. They get attack, they get patrol fighters and an engine cooling. Okay. So it looks like the attack fighters are good, the bombers are okay, and then the torpedoes are where it's really strong. Like really, really, really strong. Airstrikes, 8-kilometer range. And they're automatic, of course, for the ASW. Anti-air, terrible. Speed, 25 knots. Yeah, that is very slow. Because Fiume's 11.4. That is really good for a carrier. Like, really, really good. So it's going to be one of the stealthier tier 10 aircraft carriers, but it is extremely slow. So it's not really going to be able to run around or do anything of that sort. Yeah. I'm interested to see how it goes through the testing process with them removing the combat instruction. But as of now, it just looks like a side grade of Malta, just more focused on the torps overall. So if you're able to wipe out the torpedoes on this thing, it's just not going to do well. So any CV player will have to be careful with that. All right. Moving on, we'll look over 2 more ships, and they'll be done with this first look for 15.0. I call this ship the Yellow Baguetto. So I am never going to be able to say this name. So this is the Yellow Baguetto. As you can see, it has all the torpedoes at the front. All of them. All right. So it is of course, a French destroyer. It looks like it has the German guns. But yeah, very cool looking model. The ship is pretty big for a destroyer. Very big. But yeah, I do like the look of it. It does look pretty amazing. I'm very happy with how the ship looks. Now, something to know about these turrets is that these turrets can turn. So they're not fixed. They are turnable turrets, which means you're able to turn these torpedoes back to be able to launch them behind you. So say you're doing a torpedo run and you're moving in with it, because again, this thing is going to be like a Yellow Baguetto, as you can see. All these torpedoes it's going to be its main armament. These guns are definitely not going to be performing. This thing has a torpedo reload booster. It gets an engine boost. It gets a DFAA. And of course, it gets depth charges. Engine boost is going to be 20%. It goes for 3 minutes. You can probably build to about 4 minutes is what it normally is for the Frenchies. Torpedo reload boost is going to be really nice because of the fact that these torpedoes that's going to be your main weapon. So how this ship works is the torpedoes, they have a 110-second reload, 9-kilometer range, and the damage is 19,500. But as you can see, it has a maximum damage threshold of 6 kilometers. So if the torpedoes if they hit within 6 kilometers, they do the maximum damage. But if they are outside of that, the damage drops off until, of course, the torpedoes run out. So this thing is going to be definitely a yellowing ship. You are going to be speed Gonzalez in this ship. And I'll go over the speed and everything else in a moment. I just need to go over the other stats. Armor, no armor. So that, nothing. Survivability, 26,800 HP. It's all right, but for how big it is, it's going to take a higher skill level to play it. Artillery, it has 6 guns, 3.3 second reload. HE is okay, 1,200 damage. AP is okay as well. Fast shells, so it's going to be pretty accurate to hit. 12.4 kilometer range. These guns are going to be good in like a defensive scenario, but you're not going to be relying on those guns for your main damage. It's going to be the torpedoes. You do get 12 of them, which is a lot. And you do have torpedo reload booster 2, so you can launch 12 and then launch 12 again, so a total of 24. It's going to be a lot. So for the depth charges, you have... It says 24, but I don't know if it actually has 24. That is an insane amount of depth charges. I don't think it has that many. It could be like a UI error because sometimes the UI can be a little bit messed up, but if it is, cool. If not, oh well. Anti-air, it's French. 4 flak, Like, the mid-range anti-air is nice, but it's only the 3.8. Yeah, anti-air is going to be meh. It's a French. Like, if he's within 3.8 with DFA active, you'll do a lot of damage. Outside of that, it ain't gonna be doing nothing. For concealment is 7.8. It's like 0.2 or 0.3 kilometers more than the Cassard. So it's going to be 6.3. That's a really good concealment for a yellowing ship like this, where you're going to be kind of yelling at people. I think it's a really good concealment. Speed is 41 knots. You're able to put on the flag, which makes it go to 43. Then you have the engine boost. So it's going to be extremely fast ship with this. You can build into swiftness signs as well to go faster, but it does make your reload slightly worse, but I think that's going to be worth it on this ship. So overall, though, I think that this ship's going to be a lot of fun to play, higher skill level. It's going to be like a new genre of like the yellow Emilio, that whole genre. So I'm looking forward to how this ship goes in the testing process. But yeah, so far it looks really good. So I like it. Okay. Moving on from that, we have the final ship we're looking at today is going to be the Pioneer. So the Pioneer, we have this one's already been in testing. It has essentially, it's going to be a Commonwealth cruiser. It's going to be the first cruiser in the game that has both radar and submarine surveillance. First one in the game. It is the first one as well with preparation time. So it has a preparation time for both the radar and the submarine surveillance. They're both the same. They have both the same preparation time. So you can't use this for the first 4 minutes of the game. It's really interesting them doing this. But essentially that means that if there's a submarine in the match and he's within 8 kilometers and you submarine surveillance him and he tries to surface to get out of it, which I don't know why you would, but if he did, then you'd be able to radar him to spot him, right? Or if he's on the surface and you radar him and he dives within 8 kilometers, you'd then be able to submarine surveillance him. So no matter what he does, you're going to be able to keep him perma-spotted. The ship has a crawling smoke generator, which is pretty common for the Commonwealth. It has a nice heal, DC damage control party, of course, 60-second cooldown. All right, so let's take a look at. Oh, also the ASW is 11 kilometers. Very nice range for the cruiser. So very, very long, and it also gets 3 depth charge airstrikes instead of the normal 2. So very nice with that. All right, so let's look at the armor. Armor, 25 millimeter bow, sides are 25. Citadel section here is 120. Aft is going to be 25, but let's just take a look at the ship itself. So this is the Pioneer. As you can see, it has 16 guns. 3 of the guns are on the front. Sorry, 3 of the turrets are, and 1 is at the rear. So yeah, you'll definitely be pointing your business end at the front to do a lot of your damage. You're not going to be using that rear turret that much. You're probably just focusing more on just using the main 3 at the front, or if you're in smoke as you're turning, you can use all of them. But overall, your main business is going to be the front end. Because, yeah, that's a lot of firepower in the front. All right, so let's look at the armor again. Let's see the Citadel. Citadel is slightly above water, 120. So if you show broadside, you are not going to be having a fun time at all. So, yeah, if you show your broadside, you're dead. So, yeah. Survivability, 46,900 HP. Pretty good for what the cruiser is. 1% torpedo protection. Artillery, you get 16 152 millimeter guns with 7.8 second reload. 14.5 kilometer range. The range isn't the best, but the shell speed is 841, so I can see why that is. So you're not going to build into range. I don't know. You may have to build into range just because of all the secondary ships. But you do have an exhaust smoke, a crawling smoke, which will help you be able to farm. Secondaries, no. Torpedoes, you get 16 of them with a 2-minute reload. Okay, that's a lot of torpedoes. 6 kilometer range, pretty short range. It's like a last ditch effort, essentially. Like if you're being rushed by someone, you're in your smoke. It's a last ditch effort to survive or to do a drive-by of some kind. If it don't work, you're dead. For the guns, the AP is okay damage. You're not really even going for that Citadel. HE, 30mm pen, 2100. You'll be able to build into IFHE if you want. There'll be a choice. You can build into IFHE to get that extra pen damage, or you can keep it the way it is and get get extra fire damage, essentially. Defense, anti-air, 5.8 kilometers. Flak? No. Anti-air bad. Maneuverability, 34 knots. Good speed for a cruiser. 760 meter turning radius is nice. 10.5 rudder shift. It's okay. Concealment's 12.3. You can get that down to... Let's see. You can get that down to concealment. It's going to go to 9.9. And its firing penalty is 6.2. And how long is the smoke again? The smoke lasts for 102 seconds, which you can build into, of course. So 102 seconds, 130-second cooldown, and a 6.2 kilometer smoke fire penalty. That's really good. That's like really good. The ship looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play when it comes out. Oh, yeah. You just have to watch out for torps, though, since it doesn't have Hydra. But overall, the ship looks like a lot of fun to play. Good concealment. Good farming ability with the crawling smoke. Nice radar and surveillance. You just have to be a little bit more passive at the start, since you do have that preparation time. But after that, you can be a little bit more like aggressive on how you play to be able to farm. But overall, all really interesting ships. But yeah. But yeah, thank you guys all again, though, for watching today's video. During this month, there will be special drops at my twitch.tv/overlordbo. You guys are able to get the special destruction effect. Let me just show you guys real quick. They'll be introducing a second phase at some point as well, so a lot of people may have already gotten it, but they'll be introducing a second phase, as you can see here. Salt in the Wound is for us CCs exclusively, so you're able to get 2 subs over on Twitch while I'm live, and you're able to claim it and then put this on your ship and add some salt to the game, because people love adding salt, apparently. So it's a pretty funny meme, because when people think of WoWs, they think of people raging all the time, so I think it's pretty good. But if you guys want to do that, they can. There's also going to be special drops for us CCs as well throughout the month. So make sure you stand for that over at Twitch. But thank you all again for watching today's video. Make sure you leave a like and a comment. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.